engineering, also multimedia engineering, and then I did my MBA course, okay, with a final stage in China and the US. Okay. And I worked in a multinational company called Deluxe Laboratories, which basically what they do is all the post-production of movies. Okay. And then I started working here in Securiforest, as you can see, in the marketing field, and now I'm doing the operations in now computing that I will explain later what that is. Basically, my experience as an entrepreneur is I've been 3 years working so far here, and I can say it's really, really hard to be an entrepreneur. It's not like it's going to be really cool, you're going to be an entrepreneur, and people are going to give you money. It's not like that. So it's also you have to do like a lot of things. It's not that you're going to be in the marketing field. I've written here marketing and operations, but basically we started 3 people, okay, the CEO, 1 developer, and me, and basically we're doing, the 3 of us, everything that you can have to do in one company. We were doing it only 3 people. So basically the administration was done by the CEO, and then also the CEO was doing, a lot of stuff. And the developer was also doing selling, was trying to sell the product, okay? So basically in a startup, it's not that you're going to be like the guy of marketing or the guy of operations or logistics or whatever, okay? You have to do like a little bit of everything. So what I've written here is the action-reaction effect, which is that in a startup, every small detail counts, okay? So if you do whatever, you will see the effect in the product or in the selling process. Okay, it's going to be really, really fast. Maybe in a multinational, you're a part of a process. Okay, so it's not that clear that the work that you've done, it has this effect in the product later. Okay, and my friends, also family, were saying, oh, but being in a startup is risky because if you don't get the funding or if you run out of money, what are you going to do? Okay. It's like, yeah, but also, bigger companies have failed, okay? So it's not that everything is secure, so at least this is, for me, more fun than anything else. Also, it's really, really intense, okay? It's not like the working shifts are not from 9 to 2 and then from 4 to 7. It's like, you work, because, you have to be all day here, weekends, whatever. Everything you have to do to make things work. Okay, so basically what our company do is we found that there are some problems, right? We came with this idea that in the market there are like tons of operating systems, Windows, different versions of Windows, also Mac, but Linux in the schools, millions of them. And for big companies, okay, this leads to really complex problems. Okay, not only in how you manage IT in that. Okay, so if I've got 1,000 computers and then Windows launches the new Windows 8 and we have to migrate all our computers to the new OS. So how we do that? Okay? For these companies was, a really big problem. That okay. Also the increase in employee mobility. Okay, so today in this world that we're living, you're working in this company, but you have to go to France to do whatever, and then you have to go with your OS physically. Okay, so what happens if you lose your laptop with all your information? So there are a lot of issues, not only in security, but also in how you manage IT. Okay, so this leads to restrictive IT policies. So big companies, what they do is, okay, I give you this company, this laptop to you, but you cannot even download anything. You cannot, in some companies, they physically have blocked the USB ports. Okay, so for the user, if I want to do whatever in my computer, I cannot do it. Okay, so people were pissed with that, and how you overpass that, it's something that we wanted to solve. Okay, and then it appeared this concept of the cloud and virtualization, and we said, okay, is it going to be the solution to everything, cloud? And we believe that it's not. Okay, so as I was saying, the virtualization and cloud computing appeared, and all these big players, for sure some of them you know them, Citrix, VMware, they said, okay, for these big companies, what you are going to do is we're going to use virtualization, but what they call server virtualization, okay, which is you invest 1 million euros in bunch of servers, and then you will be able to manage to your employees the OS that they need, blah blah blah. Okay, and every year they have to pay like a lot of fees in many things. Okay, so what they were doing with that is they were forcing these companies to stay with them. Okay, because if you invest like 2 or 3 million euros in servers or dollars in servers, you're not going to move to another solution even if it's better. Okay, so they're like the switching costs are really high for them, so they stay with them even if they don't like them. Okay, so what we said is, okay, what if, I mean, every day the laptops and the computers that we are using are better than the previous day. Okay, so what if we change, instead of having a server really powerful that sends the OS or accesses the OS through a really powerful computer, what if we change that to do the virtualization in the laptops itself? Okay, and that's what it's called, the desktop virtualization. That's what we tried to change. So that's the traditional computing model. Okay, one OS, one piece of hardware, like in the past. And what it looks like is that in the future, I mean, today our email is in the cloud, our Dropbox files are in the cloud, so some things are in the cloud, but not our entire OS. Okay, maybe some of you have heard of this iOS, which is everything in the cloud and you can access from everywhere. But it's not really, I mean, it's not that everybody's going to do that in the following 2 or 3 years. Okay? So what we came is with this idea of having in one piece of hardware our Securivisor product, which the 2 OSs on top of that. Okay? The beauty of that is it's highly secure because they are separated. Okay? If you get a virus in one, it's not going to affect the other one. Okay? If you are an auditor that you have to go to one company, it's not like they have to give you one laptop and then I've got my laptop from my company and then I've got my personal laptop. Okay? It's like we try to reduce the amount of laptops, having 2 of them at least in the same machine. Okay, so this is really scalable because it's you install this software in one computer or in 1 million as easily. Okay, also you can have one OS in the hard drive of the laptop and the other can be in the cloud. So for these companies that have already moved to cloud, they can have both models in the same computer. So basically our first product that we launched was that, to have 2 operating systems, one for the corporate, some of these use cases are, for instance, you can have your personal computer and also have your corporate OS in the same machine. Okay? The other one is, for instance, if you have to migrate your hardware, you can have exactly the same, you just change the hardware, and for the computer, as for the OS, as these 2 OSs are speaking directly to our software, if you change this hardware and you put another one for them, for the OSs, it's going to be completely transparent. Okay. And then we said, okay, that's cool for some companies, but what, speaking with a really big bank in Switzerland, they said, okay, I've got one issue, that is that I've got 100 new employees for 3 months, and then I have to, I mean, I only hire them for this project, and then I have to fire them. Okay, so I need to prepare 100 laptops with 100 OSs with whatever, and for them it was a huge cost. And they said, okay, what if we build a product that, I don't have it here, I have it upstairs. There's a USB device with the OS inside that I can just plug in, reboot my machine, and access to all my information, my corporate information from the OS. Okay, so if I hire 100 people, I just dump this buy 100 StormFlies. This product is called StormFly, and I give it to all my employees. And then when they are not working for me anymore, I can just send a signal to kill the USB with all the information, and that's it. Okay, and that's the other product we have. And it's called StormFly, and what we say is a PC in your wallet. Okay, that follows one of the trends that maybe some of you have heard, which is the bring your own computer, which is basically that if I have my Mac, I'm a Mac user, I love my Mac, and I go to my work and they give me like an old computer that I don't like, that it's slow, whatever. It's like, okay, what if I could have one product that it's not going to affect my personal computer? I just reboot, access to my information, boom, and that's it. Okay, so that's the other trend that we are trying to follow, which is called bring your own computer. Okay, and for companies it's really good because they don't have to buy extra hardware for that. Okay. In terms of market, we analyzed the whole market, and we said, okay, we've got the virtualization and cloud, which is it was estimated for 120 billion. Yeah. $120 billion, okay, the whole virtualization and cloud. What we are trying to reach, which is the desktop virtualization, it's only 67 billions. But every day, the PC shipments worldwide are 350 million new laptops every year, okay? So, what we said is, if we sit on top of this two places, okay, with the P shipments, what we mean is if we could install Securivisor from the factory, that these companies, they buy it with the software already pre-installed, okay, and then they can install on top of that the OSs that they want, okay, that's going to be really good for us. But also in the desktop virtualization, what I was telling you, that to use the powerful machines that we have today. Some competitors, what I was saying before, they are really huge players, Citrix and VMware, Microsoft, Mocha 5, maybe if there's some American people here, they may know that. And they were a startup that they raised, I think it was like $30 million last year, okay, doing what it's called barebone virtualization, which it's not what we're doing, but they can sort of have the same possible customers that we do. Okay, and what we say is, okay, we don't want to be a server solution. We don't want people to invest a lot of money in that. It's just you buy the license for your computer for one machine or for 1 million, and that's it. No extra cost, no maintenance cost, no whatever. Okay, we try to disrupt and do things differently. With a simply, extremely interface. It's really simple. I mean, really easy for the users because you don't need to be an expert. What we said is you don't have to be an expert to do or play with virtualization. Okay. So, in terms of what a startup is and all these myths, I mean, the first thing you have to do is to find a need. Okay, we found this need that we were telling you, that I was telling you. Our CEO was, maybe some of you know him, he's Virgil. He's also the director of the school, so he had a 25 years experience in multinational companies, Epson, Lenovo, I mean, really huge companies. And he found this net, okay, and it was like the starting point, because you can think, okay, I've got this really cool idea, but maybe it's something I only have, and there's a need that I only have. Okay, so what we did at the beginning, we spent like almost 1 year like speaking with not customers because they did not buy it, but with future customers, saying, okay, if you had to develop this, how would you do that? How would you like that? What specifications would you like for that? Okay, so really we spent a lot of time on the requirements for the future product. Okay, so the second thing is that you have to become an expert on the market that you're using or that you want to target. You have to be an expert and you have to love it, because you're going to spend like a lot of hours on this, speaking with a lot of people in this market. So if they feel that you don't know what you're talking about, they are going to say, I mean, how are you going to solve my needs if you cannot understand what I need? Okay. Then work with passion. I mean, you have to do that in all the companies. But if you are like 3, 4, 5 people in a company and you are not passionate about that, I mean, what Fergal always says is that if you put a rotten apple in a bunch of apples, I mean, all of them are going to be wasted in a few time. Okay, so you have to build this team really, I mean, with the best people that you can get, okay, experts in their fields, but that they work with passion. Okay, it's not easy. Okay, that's a fact, a reality. But on the other side, I mean, there's money out there. The world has not stopped. Okay, what we are told is that we're in this economic downturn. We all know that, but I mean, there's money out there. There's private money. There's public investment too. But you have to really go after that. It's not going to be easy. You have to dedicate a lot of time. Maybe time that you could be doing your product itself, but you need money to do the product. So it's like a circle that you need one thing to do the other and the other to do the one. So, but you have to dedicate resources to find this money. And what we said here is there's something worse than having no money, which is having the wrong money. Okay, so you have to try and find the best investors. Okay, what they say, a clever money. It's not that you're going to give me the money and tell me what to do with that, or no, maybe if you are going to invest in my company, I want you to know, I mean, to have some of the skills that I don't have. Maybe they can be the leads, that they've got a network in this market, or they have experience in marketing, or they have whatever. Okay, but you need to find the key players and the key investors. Okay, so the reality on a startup is that it's something live, okay, and it changes. That's something that, and I think not even Paul knows that we are changing the name of our company. Okay, so we got we got public funding, we got private funding, and the investors of our company with our CEO, they were speaking about that and said, well, maybe the name of the company should be different to the one that we have. Okay, and we decided to change the name of the company to Now Computer. Okay, and also I was telling you before that we've got Securivisor and StormFly. And also we said, okay, our flagship product was Securivisor, was a B2B product that we were trying hard to sell. But then we said, okay, the StormFly one, maybe we could redesign it and do like a version for kids that I'm going to basically explain you, do like a quick review now. And we have launched only this weekend in Paris, we launched the StormFly product for kids, okay, that I'm going to show you now. So basically, it's something live, something that changes, and you don't have to be, oh no, but I've spent almost 2 years in development in Securivisor, so I need to continue trying to sell that. Yes, but I mean, you have to keep moving, because if you don't do it, someone's going to do it, okay? So what we did with StormFly is we designed this cool bracelet with a USB 3 inside, okay? Because we said, okay, one of the problems that kids have is that they want to play their game, they want to have a computer, but for their parents, maybe they cannot spend like whatever, $300 or even more in a netbook or in a laptop. Okay, so what we said is, okay, what if they could use someone else's laptop with the same idea of the other StormFly, the mobility, okay, and they just reboot with the USB inside, and they can have their personal OS there, the kids with their games, their files, they can go to school, plug it there, work, and then they can go to their parents' computer and reboot it from there, and always have their files and software there. Okay, so we designed this bracelet, and it's USB 3. It has SSD inside, so it's super fast, and they've got the operating system. They reboot, and whatever they do on this device, it's not going to affect the hard drive of the laptop itself. Okay, so that's something cool, because for this parent to have important files in their laptop, they won't have any problem with the games that their kids install. Okay, and we were, as I was telling you, this weekend in Paris, doing the presentation of that in Minecon. And some of you know the game Minecraft. Yeah. So there's this huge conference in Paris, okay, and we were there presenting, and for the first time we developed something, a real product that we could sell, and it was really cool because people were, paying money for something that you've developed. Okay, so basically we developed this product in 3-4 months, but we could do that because we had already spent time in the previous 2 years analyzing not only the market but having the resources in that. So we had the partners in China to produce the chipset. We had the partners in States to do the marketing. Okay, so basically that was the first time that someone was buying something from us. Okay, and that's my experience, our experience. I would like to know if you've got any questions. Maybe some of you have already done some startup experiences. I don't know. You're working now in your ideas, right?
By the way, Toni also is going to be here next semester, helping on the new technology ventures course. Questions?
Yeah.
How do you switch between OS?
It's when you reboot the machine. If you've got a Mac, you just reboot. You turn the computer on and press Alt. And when you press Alt, you can choose which hard drive you want to use.
So you have to reboot?
Yeah.
It's not virtualization?
No. It's basically it's a bootable OS. It's not virtualized.
Okay. And for StormFly,
yeah.
are you limited to hard disk space of 16 giga?
Well, the product that we've done to have it, basically here we've got two problems. Okay, first problem is that you need a lot of good performance. Okay, so if the communication between the memory and the PCI devices, so the GPU, the CPU, and everything else, if this communication is slow, you will have an OS but not a usable OS. Okay, so basically we needed the USB 3, even if you use it in a USB 2 port, but it had to be the USB 3, and the chipset inside has to be really fast. Okay, so the first product, and it's not prototype because let's call it the version 1.0. It's 16 gigs. Okay, you are using 3 gigs for the OS, and then the rest is for if you want to install apps or whatever. It's encrypted. Okay, so this product is encrypted, and it also has a backup, which means that if a kid loses it, they just need to call and say, I've lost it, no problem, here's my serial number. Okay, and we send the signal to this StormFly, and the next time someone tries to boot it, it will be like self-destructed, and we can ship, not physically, with all the information, and we can ship a new one with the exact information that they had. Okay, so basically the limitation is 16 gigs because we are working on having like a bigger USB. Okay. Yeah.
How much does it cost? But
when we were selling it, it was for 50 euros. Okay, so basically we went to this MineCon this conference. It's not something related to our product, but we were saying, okay, one of the problems that kids have is that they want to have their games, their things. Okay, this game Minecraft is really is huge. It's massive in the world. They've got like 70 million users, active users. I mean, I've never played, but it was really impressive. And when we did the research, we said, okay, one of the use cases could be this game. It's all about creating your world. You can have your map. You can have your things. Okay? So these kids were saying, okay, I'm going to play in my computer, but then I go to your house and we want to play in my maps, and we cannot because I don't have them. Okay, so we said, okay, let's allow them to have their maps and their everything in their StormFly, and they can go wherever and just play. Okay, so it was a way to sell it. Okay.
and for the companies, the storage, the
Securivisor, yeah.
Also, is it not expensive?
Oh, what we were saying is that 140. Well, it depends. If you're a big company and you're going to buy like 1 million licenses, it will be, the price will be less. But it's around 130, 150 euros, and you just pay for the license. You can get the 2 OS thing, and just sell it. Okay, also, the B2B selling is really different to the B2C. Okay, so the fact that we're starting selling B2B, okay, Securivisor is really slow sell. It takes forever. You start with the IT department, then they have to go to the finance and get the approval. Then you have to go to many departments, and after that they say, okay, then we are going to buy 1,000 licenses, perfect, and we will buy them like for the next year. It's like, so okay, so you're not going to give me the money now. So it's really different to sell to a company or to sell direct, which is when we're there in this fair, it's like $50, you get the product, boom. Okay. That's it.
Well, but the difference is you have to sell to each customer individually, which is a lot more.
Yeah.
Which is a different type of effort, no?
Yeah, but it's something, when we're there, I mean, there were people from all the world, but the Americans were like, okay, yeah, got it, the idea, boom, give me 5. It's like, okay. And for instance, people from Spain were like, okay, and what does this do? And okay, and you've got this backup service, so it's also the nationality of the one who's buying is going to affect the selling process too.
So what channels are you going to sell it through then, now that you're B2C?
And, yeah, we've got, I had a backup slide that I think I erased. We are going to do it through places like a Fnac or Media Market or these places. Also, we're going to launch this project in Kickstarter. In fact, we are now waiting for the approval, but we gave all the information. And then through the website. Okay, so basically we try to get as many channels as we can.
Okay. Have you looked at the Kickstarter type sites here in Spain, or you don't?
No.
You don't think they're?
No, I mean, we went directly to Kickstarter. I mean, to the States, and all this selling effort that we're doing, it's not in Spain. So even if we are in Spain, we've targeted some schools for StormFly, and some companies for the other version of StormFly. Yep.
One more
So-
question.
StormFly, you say it's a rebootable OS.
Yeah.
But which OS is it? Is it Windows? Is it Mac?
It's an Ubuntu distribution. It's a Linux. Okay, it's the third most popular. Okay, and we decided Ubuntu because for many reasons. The first one is because it's the third one. Okay, in a lot of schools in Spain, in public school, they've got Linux distributions. In South America, we found out that 75% or something like that of the schools had this OS. So basically, the first idea was to sell it to schools, okay, or to students, but through the schools. Okay, so if you use an OS that they already know, then it's better for them. Also for licensing issues, that Ubuntu is for free. So basically, the margin that we could get was higher. And if you sell this and you say that's $50 plus the Windows license, it would be okay. That's $300. I'd rather buy a netbook or a tablet or.
Great.
That's it.
Well, thanks very much, Tony,
And
for your experience.
last-
We have one more question. One more.
Yeah.
If you have time,
Yeah, I do. Tell me.
did you have any problems with the relation? What was your relationship with your partners in the startup, and did it cause any problem?
I mean,
Because you say you knew the person or your CEO.
yeah. Yeah. So that's important because I mean, what I was saying before, you're going to work like all the hours. If you work with someone, I mean, it's not that you have to be friends with this guy, with your partners, but you have to be really clear on what do you have to do, what he has to do, or what we have to do. Okay? Because I mean, for sure, if you're working like 10 or 12 hours, not every day, but if you're working this amount of hours, for sure you're going to find problems or small details, but you have to keep separate what the corporate thing is and then the personal relation. Okay, what we try to do, they're like, now we are 10, they're like silly things, but we try every Thursday, so tonight, we go to have dinner together, then we have a drink somewhere. So we try to do all the things, like whatever, barbecues, to get this relation, so that this will be translated to the daily basis.
Great.